All right, Natalie, I think you've got an interesting rhetorical question that you start with, and then you're kind of drawn us in there. But after that, it just doesn't gel quite as well as it needs to. The topic area, we know what it is. Your thesis, I guess it's to kind of pull the covers back on the Bilderberg group, which is a conspiracy theory about how the world is being run or influenced by a group of high-powered or high-profile people. Okay, you need to say it a little bit more directly than that. Your phrasing is just a little awkward there. The preview needs to tell us where you're going, and I think you did okay with that, but it's the ideas, the statements that you have for the preview sound like half-formed phrases rather than complete sentences, and so it doesn't come across as smoothly as it should because we're kind of jumping in, and it sounds very outline formatted. It needs to have some narrative behind it. There needs to be some explanations. You got to tell us a little bit of a story, and you're kind of involved with all the facts and numbers and incidents instead of telling us the story about what's going on here in a way that makes it simpler and easier to draw people in. You've got some interesting information. You do want to give us the sources on a couple of them. It sounds mostly like it's these 3 or 4 people that you mentioned who are involved in researching this particular conspiracy. Maybe building up their credibility would be a good idea. Jesse Ventura, you know, there's a little bit of question about his credibility on some things. So it's an interesting idea. You've got the one story that kind of plops down in the middle there to give it some more credibility, because apparently one of the major researchers in this was involved in a chase where he was trying to get away. It was clear somebody was after him, and the very fact that this other journalist was there and saw that somebody was after him and he died, that raised all these suspicions that this is really real. Okay, so that's fine, but it just seems like the story's dropped into the middle of what you're talking about without any context, and that's what happens with a lot of this. We're not getting enough background context on it. I'll give you a perfect example. You show us the Georgia Stone statue that's going on there right at the end, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, wait a second, where is this? What is this about? Where did this come from? Where's it? Huh? And the next thing I know, and it's right there in front of you. And I go, I know it's right there in front of me, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's supposed to represent, where it came from. There's some reference to R.C. Christian, and okay, well, is that the person who put it up? Is that the person who designed it? Is that... I don't know. We're not getting enough information, and what you're doing is you've got bits and pieces of information that are being plugged in, but it's not telling a story. It's not giving us a narrative that we can follow, and as a consequence, everything seems very disconnected. And so that's what you have to fix. I think you depending a little bit too much on the slides to organize the information for you, and you need to give us the explanations more. This would be maybe a good speech for you to try again. Just forget the slides, tell us the story, do that kind of thing, and then go back and figure out, okay, now where could I plug in some visual materials? That might be a good way to kind of rethink the whole thing, because I think there's stuff here that's interesting to talk about and people would enjoy, but it's not coming across quite the way I think you want it to. And as a consequence, instead of pulling back the covers and allows us to see something, I just want to put a stone over it and never look at it again. It's just going the other direction. And it's not clear enough for me. All right, thank you.